Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Solisha Francis. On this particular channel, we talk about health, lifestyle, thought leadership, amongst other things, especially how your mental health can affect everything about you and your entire life. If this is your first time on this channel, please do hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that when new videos come out, you know about them and you're able to catch them pronto. All right, so for this particular episode, I want to say something about addiction and addiction problems. Now, addiction is something that is a word that many of us throw around, and it does have a journey. I'm going to run this in series, basically, because I don't want it to be too long for people to watch and comprehend. So I'll start by defining what addiction really is and the kind of addictions that we may experience. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after this break. All right, welcome back. So let's begin by defining what addiction really is. Addiction refers to a complex condition that is characterized by the compulsive use of a substance or the compulsive engagement in the behavior, because you can have substance addiction and you can have behavioral addiction, right? But there is a journey. When we look at the behavioral problems, there is a journey before you get to addiction. So you have what is called habits. So it begins by you having a particular habit of something that you do, and then the habit can grow into becoming an addiction, and then the addiction can grow into becoming a compulsion, and then the compulsion can grow into becoming an obsession, wherein you're obsessed with something or you're obsessed about something. Now, so addiction refers to a complex condition that is characterized by the compulsive, that word is very key, the compulsive use of substance or engagement in a behavior despite negative consequences, because there are consequences for every activity or every action that we're engaging. But then when it comes to addiction, the negative consequences are not being checked. People still engage in those particular acts. So it is often, the reason why it's compulsive, because it is often accompanied by the inability to control or stop. This is what compulsion does. Something is pulling you, something is calling you, something is inviting you, all right, to take part in that particular action. Okay, so it could be the use of a substance, it could be the engagement of a behavior, and it then leads to a detrimental effect on your physical, mental, and even social well-being. Don't forget that the definition of mental health talks about your physical, your social, your cognitive, and your mental well-being, right? So when you engage in addictive behaviors, or you engage in addictive substances rather, it has a tendency of affecting your mental health. And so addiction is a mental health problem, as it were. Now, substance addictions can involve drugs, can involve various substances like nicotine, like alcohol, opioids, cocaine, and a host of other things. Whereas behavioral addictions can include things like masturbation, gambling, internet use, shopping, work, gaming, and a host of other. Now, don't forget that these, right, are behaviors. They are not substances. You are not addicted to substances, but you are addicted to behaviors. Now, there is a difference between addiction and problem addiction. So for this particular episode, I'm going to talk about addiction, and then I'll talk about problem addiction, and then we'll look at the differences, as it were, and the similarities, and in subsequent episodes, we'll dive deeper into them. So what is problem addiction? Let me read that to you. Problem addiction is also known as problematic substance use or problematic addiction. So it's a term used to describe a level of addiction where the negative consequences and impact on an individual's life become evident. I'll take that again. Now, remember that we have defined addiction as a compulsive use, as a condition that's characterized by compulsive use of a substance or engagement in a behavior despite its negative effect, right? Now, we're seeing that problematic addiction or problematic substance use is a term used to describe a level of addiction where the negative consequences are very visible, and the impact as well is very visible on the individual's life. It then means that this level of addiction, everybody can see that there is a problem with this person's life because the impact and the effect is now evident. It signifies that the addiction has started to interfere with the individual's daily life functioning, relationship, work, school, and every other thing, and in total, the overall quality of life of the person. Now, I often share something that what we see in individuals is the behavior. We don't see the thought, right? So we have what we call problem thinking, problem feeling, problem behavior that I always used to explain each time clients, reach out to me for therapy sessions and a host of other things. So the problem thinking, nobody sees it. The problem feeling, nobody sees it. What people see is the problem behavior. And so there's a problem addiction. What you see is the effect of the behavior of the person. And so you're seeing the behavior, the effect of the thinking and the feeling and the act of the person, I bet to say. So what you're seeing is the behavior. That's the physical manifestation, is the impact of the activities of the person, the addictive activities of the person. You're now seeing the impact on the life of that person. And they can manifest in various ways. So you have physical health issues, right? So problem addiction can lead to physical health issues where there is a persistent substance use, which may lead to deteriorating health issues, for example, organ damage, increased risk of diseases, malnutrition, weakened immune system, and a host of other things. You also have the mental health challenges, like I did say earlier, where it can co-occur, right? The addiction can co-occur with other mental health disorders such as depression, anxiety, or bipolar disorder, different things, and it can grow, it can increase, it can multiply. The tough thing and the painful thing about problem addiction is that it can start manifesting from one problem and move to another problem and to another problem. And so it's no brainer that mental health is defined as your state of mental, physical, cognitive, and social well-being, because these are the things that make you who you are. These are the things that define you as a human being, your ability to show forth in all of these and in these various ways. And so problem addiction can affect your physical health, in which you begin to have organ failure and stuff like that. It can co-occur with other mental health disorders like depression, anxiety, bipolar, and so on. It can then begin to exacerbate or increase such that you now begin to have some other form of complex complacencies coming up, and then distress as well. Then of course it has a tendency to affect your relationship as well, because you're no longer there. It begins to strain relations with your family, begin to strain relations with your partner, because there is a change in behavior. They can't understand you anymore. You are experiencing financial difficulties, experiencing emotional distances, and a whole lot of that, right? And then begin to experience financial difficulties. So it can affect your financial difficulties as well. And your financial difficulties when financial difficulties begin to exist, of course, your social life is getting cut off gradually, because you need money to move around, you need money to hang out with friends and other things, to meet your own obligation as an individual. And of course, because of your sense of reason and your state of mind, you begin to neglect responsibilities. And neglecting your responsibilities can have adverse effects. You're neglecting work, you're playing truancy at school, you're not showing up, productivity is dropping. With time, things begin to give way and begin to find yourself that kind of a situation where either people are avoiding you or your work is taken away from you and there is nobody available for you. And so if we bring all of this together, we would realize that addiction is a deep mess that we don't want to find ourselves in. Of course, nobody wakes up to say, I want to get addicted to this thing. I want to begin to practice this thing, right? But can you overcome addiction? Yes. Can you prevent addiction? Yes. Is it easy? Yes and no. So each of us are wired in different ways. Each of us are wired. Our personality, some personalities are in a way that it's easy for them to get hooked on something, right? I'm going to see if I can talk on personality types and how they encourage some misdemeanor and some kind of habit behaviors or addiction behaviors, so to speak. But some people, their personalities encourage addiction such that it's easy for them to get hooked on something. So to overcome addiction, you need professional help. You can't do it by yourself. No matter what the addiction is, be it drinking, be it substance use, be it behavioral addiction, you need a professional who is going to get into therapeutic interventions and begin to, after diagnosis, after the assessments, can tell, okay, this is how we are going to go about it and all that. And trust me, because addiction is a complex problem that affects life of individuals, the therapy is also not straightforward and it requires work. Oftentimes, people reach out to me saying that they have addiction problems and all. The first question I ask them is, are you ready to do the work? Because unlike some mental health conditions that we know, like depression, anxiety, and the likes, addiction requires that you build a life of discipline, that you build a life of conscientious discipline, and you've decided that you really want to work. You really want to work on this thing and you want to get yourself back up. All right. So it's important that you approach addiction with compassion for yourself, understanding and recognize that you have a problem. One of the biggest problems with solving addiction problems is the fact that the person who is addicted or who is hooked doesn't usually accept in time that he or she is addicted to something. And if you cannot accept that you're addicted to it, it becomes difficult for the carer, for the healthcare professional to help your own family members to help you. So your first journey to recovery is accepting that there is a problem. The second step is accepting that you need to seek help. And the third step is accepting the help that comes your way. Please, I urge you, books, Google will not give you the help that you need. Speak with a professional. It's your life we're talking about here. Just one habit can turn into an addiction and can change the course of your life. If you feel like talking to someone, feel free to reach out to me via my social media handles at Alicia Francis, or send me an email, realconsulting@gmail.com, and I'll definitely get back to you. In the next episode, I will talk more about addiction, and I'll pick some types of addictions and the personalities that can encourage people to get hooked on addictive behavior. Like I said, it's going to be a series. So thank you for watching once again, and thank you for being here, for staying up to this particular point. I do not take it for granted. Please do subscribe and do share these videos with as many as you can. I will be so glad. Thank you for watching. Till I come your way again, I'm Alicia Francis. Stay jiggy.